Hello everyone, this is Gayle. I've got my new Simply Earth recipe box and I'm ready to open it, but before I do, I wanted to let you know that this month's theme is DIY candles. And the candle month is always fun. This is my third one and I have enjoyed them thoroughly. And I'm really anxious to show you what's in this month's box. So let me go ahead and readjust my camera and I will be right back. Okay, you'll notice this is in a much bigger box than it usually is, and that's because I have ordered other things from Simply Earth this month. Plus, I had ordered some lavender hydrosol, which is in a bottle that's got a purple label, and instead of getting that, they sent me the perfumer's alcohol. So they said they would just add the hydrosol into this. The good thing about Simply Earth, they are so good about any problems that you run into. And I have yet to have a problem that they didn't resolve with just a quick phone call or email. So let's open this box because I will show you all the stuff that I got that isn't in the box. Like I said, this month's box is, the recipe box is about candles. Let's see. There's my recipe box. Here's the recipe box. And this is Foam Boost. I'm going to use that in my shampoos and face cleanser bars, and this is my lavender hydrosol. I have made my own hydrosol before, and it can be done, but it just doesn't seem to have the same quality as this does. Now, if you wonder what lavender hydrosol is, a hydrosol, when you are processing a herb, like in this case lavender, when you're processing it, it involves steam. It's a steam process, and they extract the oil out, but there's a water residue, and that water residue is called hydrosol, and it's just part of, the water just, it smells like lavender. And I take this, I use this a lot in my body care, my face care products, my shampoos, in place of distilled water. And that way I can get the benefits of the lavender and not have to worry about it going bad or anything. So anyway, just thought I'd fill you in on a little bit of that. But let's look at this month's box. Okay, this is another thing I ordered, was the myrrh essential oil, because that's one that I don't have, and it seemed like recently every recipe that I picked up asked for myrrh. And I do believe, let me look on my packing list. Yep, that's all I ordered extra. So the rest is in the box. And we have Timber, which is an awesome fragrance, especially for men. If you want to make something for your husband or whatever, Timber is an excellent essential oil to use because it's not as flowery. It has cedarwood, cypress, mandarin, patchouli, Peru balsam, and sandalwood. Sorry about that. My daughter and her boyfriend are outside working in the yard, and they broke the weed eater, and they had to come in to get keys so they could go get another one. So sorry for the interruption. But I was talking about the Timber, and I think I already said this, but I'll say it again. Cedarwood, cypress, mandarin, patchouli, Peru balsam, and sandalwood. Those are all really good for masculine fragrances, and it says gentle skin care with a woody vanilla aroma. Shake well before using. So you always, anytime you have a blend, when you get a single oil, you don't need to shake it, but anytime you get a blend, you really ought to shake it just to mix the ingredients together. So that's timber, and we have cassia. Cassia is, it's sort of a cinnamony, is that a word? Smelling oil. See what it's used for. It doesn't say, it just says aromatic and topical. I'll know more about that when I get to the other paperwork. And citronella. Now, you know, you would think after 3 years or 3 months of doing candles, I would have had citronella, but they haven't had them, so I'm glad I got the citronella. Everybody knows about citronella. And then bergamot. Bergamot is a citrusy smell, so this is going to be a fun month. Okay, so we have this, which is a wick centering tool. We have floating candle wick, so we're going to be doing a floating candle. We have a DIY candle kit, which is it makes a 1 ounce candle, and it's soy wax. Inside is the soy wax, cotton wick, and a wick sticker. Okay, and beeswax sheets. Now this is the second time they've had beeswax sheets, and I thoroughly enjoyed them. There's a lot you can do with beeswax. You can see how you see the wax, but you can roll them this way and have a fat short candle, or you can roll them this way and have a tall candle. Of course, you can also take them and cut them this diagonally across here and roll them from the big side up, and it makes a real pretty, I don't know what you want to call it, but it's a pretty shaped candle. So that's going to be nice. And this has got the wick in it too. So, okay. So there's our candles. Of course, we have our labels and our recipes. Of course, every month we have a roll-on. So the roll-on is called Fresh Escape. And it's an a mood uplifting fragrance. And that includes the timber, bergamot, and citronella. So it would also be good if you're going to be out in the woods or out at night. It would help fend off some mosquitoes. But that's good. Timber and Citrus Bliss wax melts. Now that's good. I don't burn a lot of candles, but I do like to burn a wax melt. So this is going to be fun to have. I was just reading some notes on there. And the diffuser blend for this month is Sunset Trail. And that includes all 4 of our essential oils this month. So that ought to be a nice one. Honeyed Haven candles. This is the 3 beeswax sheets. And you do use essential oils with them. You lay them, you spread it on you take the sheets and you would drop essential oil on here, let it soak in a little bit before you roll it up. So that's good. Cozy Nook candle. Now this is from the candle kit. And this one is also smelling good. I'm sorry, I shouldn't read things while I'm talking. And the Patio Breeze Citronella candle. And this we put in any kind of this is the floating wick one. Okay, gotcha. So this is our little information sheet that comes with your box every month. Let's see what they have in here. Introducing DIY candle kits. Now this is awesome. Look at this. You get the wood wicks. I don't know how many of you have ever used wood wicks before, but they crackle. And you get 2 ceramic candle holders, and of course the oils and everything. If you're interested in that, there's the QR code. And let's see what's on the back. Here's a free guide to DIY candles if you want that QR code. And that's all that's on there. So not a lot of extras, but let me look on the back of the recipe cards. Here's a note from Katie. Katie's one of the co-founders of this wonderful company. It says, Katie here, with Simply Earth, you'll learn how to turn natural ingredients into natural products with fun and easy recipes. With this month's box, you get to make your own non-toxic candle collection. One of the reasons I'm really excited about this box is that it lets you create beautiful, clean-burning candles while enjoying the cozy ambiance of a homemade glow. You'll learn how to make floating candles, a soy wax candle, a beeswax pillar candle, all with natural waxes and high-quality ingredients. Plus, you'll get a roll-on and diffuser blend to complete the perfectly cozy vibe. Okay. This tells us more about this box, which I was going to tell you I know more about the oils. The bergamot uplifts, deodorizes, and calms. The timber promotes rejuvenation. That's interesting. The citronella energizes, deters insects, and uplifts. And cassia uplifts, cleans, and promotes circulation. So there you go. This just tells about the extras. Let's see, here's a sneak peek at next month's box. Next month we're going to have, our essential oils are going to be Resilience, which is a blend, Cajeput, I'm not ever sure how to pronounce that, balsam fir, and peppermint. And what you'll need at home is paper towels or cloths, cornstarch, a 16-ounce jar, and an 8-ounce bottle. So, and I've told you before on other videos, 13% of our profits go to a company or an organization that fights human trafficking. This month it is Sojourn House. So Sojourn House is on the front line of support for survivors of human sex trafficking. They provide transitional housing that helps defend, restore, and liberate women who have been sexually exploited. You can find out more at www.sojournhousewomen.org. So it's just a good company to associate with. These are just future, more notes on the recipes. And of course we have our labels. Always love our labels. For everything that you make, you have first off you get a cap label, which I use a lot. A cap label, these go on the top. There's one for the roll-on and one for the diffuser blend. There's also this label, which goes on your diffuser blend bottle. The Fresh Escape roll-on, this is the bottle, it goes on the bottle. And then you have your Timber and Citrus Bliss wax melts, the Patio Breeze citronella candle, the Cozy Nook candle, and the Honeyed Haven candles. So those are our labels. There's also your Candle Hero badge. If you want to do that, if you subscribe to the recipe box, you'll get a little brochure that's got places to put all of your candle things on. Or your hero badges every month. After you finish your recipes, then you can put this on your badge. So okay, so let me gather some things, and so let me see what I can do with these candles. I'll be right back. the Patio Breeze Citronella candles. You'll see that I've got, this is a big jar. You need a wide mouth jar of some kind. And this is one that I got at Dollar Tree, where the top goes like this, which will be good because we can put out the candle and save it without having to disturb anything. And I've got seashells in mine, and I'm going to be using the floating candle wicks. So let me open those and I'll show you how to assemble them. Okay, there's 3 wicks and 3 of these little cork pads with foil on one side. Now it says here, take each wick and insert it through the hole in the base. Make sure 1/3 of the wick is visible on the foil lined side of the base. So 1/3 of the wick. Might be easier to come in from the cork side. Actually, this one doesn't look like it's poked all the way through. You know what? One thing about being a crafter, you have something here all the time that you can use. So I will stick that through, and they want 1/3 of it above the top of the wick. So that's about 1/3. So let me see if the others have the same problem. I think this one has a hole big enough. And about 1/3 of it through the top. See, that was a little bit more than less than 1/3. This is a little bit more like 1/3. And this one. So it was just the one that didn't have the hole totally done. You know how it is when you get kits, sometimes they just don't work. There we go. So in a small bowl, let's see. I think I have a small bowl. Actually, I have a silicone bowl. In a small bowl, combine 30 drops of citronella. Now, I've told you this before. Since I have been with Simply Earth for almost 3 years now, I have duplicates. These that have the labels on them are ones that I had in my stash, and I'm going to keep the others. I know that these are ones that I can use. The others I put away as unused, and I'll wait off on opening those. But I just wanted to show you how easy it is to put your... I did not have a citronella, so this is my citronella. And you just take the label off of your sheet and put it right inside that circle on the top, and there. So in my box, in my storage box, the ones that have labels are the ones that I have opened. If I haven't opened it, like I have the timber here that I have not opened, I'm not going to put a label on the top because that will tell me it's unused. Just a little side note. There's something was evidently on my seashells. So let's see, 30 drops of citronella. All right, that's 30 drops of citronella. And from your big bonus box, you need fractionated coconut oil. And we need 1/4 of a cup. Okay, I did. I didn't think I brought that over here, but I did. This is 1/4 of a cup of fractionated coconut oil, which is coconut oil that has been liquefied. You know, most of the time your coconut oil is solid. So there's the 1/4 of a cup of coconut oil. I hope I can pour it in, fractionated coconut oil. Woo, it fills up that little bowl. It should have gotten a bigger bowl. And I'm going to use, actually I'm going to use my, I've got another one here. I've got a little popsicle stick. You need to mix it because you want the citronella to blend with your coconut oil. Okay, I think that did that pretty well. And then you pour this in the top of your glass jar. Now you know oil and water don't mix. So this oil, there's the little things that came out of the hole in the cork. This oil is going to sit on top. Let's see. I added some seashells. We go to Topsail every year, Topsail Beach, and these are some seashells that my daughter has collected, and some sea glass. And let's see if this is one that, yeah, I have to go in. Pour the essential and coconut oil mixture onto the water surface. You want the oil to cover the entire surface of the water. The amount needed will depend on the size of your container, but typically 1/4 of a cup of oil should be enough. You can add more if needed. The oil will float on top of the water, creating a floating candle effect. So we place the wicks in here. And I do have a lighter. And you light your wick. And as long as there is oil in here, your candles will burn. If they go out, it's because there's no more oil. Never fails, you can't get to one. It just means that there's no more oil, and what you do is you take your wicks out, let them dry out, and then you can reuse them. You know, you can close this. One thing I like about this is I can close it. But doesn't that look pretty? I know you can't get the full effect because you're looking at it from the top, but obviously I can't tilt this. I can turn the lights off. Let me see. There, I've turned the lights off. I don't know if that helps you see them or not. But they just have a nice little glow, and with the citronella oil in it, it will help to keep the bugs away. So if you sit outside and want a little bit of ambiance, there's your floating candle. Now I'm going to close this. Which should put the candles out. It does. And then close it. I don't know which, yeah, this one goes up here, and then that goes down, and that closes it. So now I can move it around without spilling it. But that's your Patio Breeze citronella candle. that was easy enough to do. So let's work on the Honeyed Haven candles. So I'm going to do 3 different kinds of candles. You open your beeswax. Well, this isn't easy to open, so I'm just going to stick my scissors in here. Seems like the older I get, the less my fingers work. If you hear a lot of footprints going around here, my dog and my cat have decided to come in here and they're playing. Well, I guess I didn't open that well enough. Let me try the other side. I'm going to take out one of the beeswax sheets. And I'm going to take out the wick. They give you long wicks because it depends on how you want to roll this to make your candle. So I'm going to put these aside until we roll our candle. So the first thing you want to do is get a cotton ball. Let me put this out here so I can read it. And you dab, let's see, do you put it on the cotton ball or on the wax? You put 1 drop of bergamot. Actually, I put 2, so I'll put 2 of everything. 1 drop of, no citronella. Yeah, 1 drop of citronella. And timber. So you put that on the cotton ball. And then you dab the cotton ball all over the inside of your candle, or your wax. This smells good. I'm not usually a citronella fan, but with these other oils with it, it smells really good. Got some fuzz from my cotton ball, because it says to dab, not to rub, and I just couldn't resist. I had to rub. But that looks like it's dried already. It takes a little while for it to dry. And then you're going to see how long you need your wick. You want this to go all the way to the bottom and then out about that much, about 1/4 of an inch, between 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 an inch. And lay this on one end of the candle. And then you take the edge and just gently, because you don't want to break your beeswax, gently, oh, I didn't turn the lights back on. Sorry, are you looking at it in the dark? There, can you see that better? But you roll it up. And do it slowly. Don't be overly anxious because you want it to look nice. Beeswax candles can be expensive. They burn clean, but they do burn quickly. So you want to get this tight around your wick. And then try to roll it tight as you go. I've just about got this one curled around the wick. It's not real soft. The beeswax isn't real soft, but it's soft enough for you to be able to bend it as long as you do it slowly. If you try to do it quickly, you might break it. And I'm trying to keep this as tight as I can, so I'm rolling it very slowly, because the tighter it is, the longer it will burn. Too much air gets in there, you'll end up burning, the wick will burn down and the sides of the candle might still stay up. So you try to make it as tight as you can. And you'll get a little bit of that fragrance when you burn it. This is nice. We made beeswax candles before, and it was an entirely different type of fragrance that we used, and I used them at the dinner table. Just every once in a while, you just feel like you want something a little special. And once it's turned, I usually roll it like this to make sure it's all sealed good. And there's the end of it. You can see it's still not wound as tight as I like it, but it will do. But I can press this end in a little bit to give it more of a look of a finished candle. And here's a candlestick. It's a little bit big for this candle, so you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to burn it and put a couple of drops of wax down in the bottom. And then stick that on it, and that should do the trick. Let it cool. Yep. And there's my pretty beeswax candle. Okay, so there's that way. Now I can also take the same candle wick, wax, make sure you pull the paper off of your wax. And we'll do the same thing, but we'll do it the long way. So about that long, the width of the wax plus about 1/4 inch. And we'll do the same thing. Let me go ahead and, actually I think what I'll do is put this on the wax. 1 drop. I don't know why that bergamot always wants to come out in 2 drops, so I'll do 2 of everything. Which is probably too much. And timber. And again, I'm going to dab it all over the surface of the beeswax. And you can see it looks shiny where the oil is. And we'll lay this here like I did before. Actually, I might start this a little bit, although it's warmer. I'm just going to turn that up just a little bit. lay the wick in there. And press this over the wick. You see, it's not so difficult when it's a short one. And you have a short, stubby one compared to a long, slender one. Looks like I bent that one trying to straighten it up. But I have another candle holder. So I'm going to press this end up again, just a little bit, so it looks like a candle. And my children just came back in, so I might have to cut off real quick. They're not children, they're adults, but. And put a couple drops of wax. In your candle holder, and then put your, oh, this one might fit in here. That's good. Didn't need those few drops. And there's that. Now I'll blow these out, but I want to show you the other one. I've never done it the other way. I've been hearing about it, so I want to try it. And that is, I'll get 2 more candles out of it. And let's see, I have a straight edge around here somewhere. So from that corner to this corner, I'm going to cut. And here's my knife. There we go. I've heard people talk about doing it this way, and I never have. And I forgot to take the paper off my wax. But again, you take your wick. See, that's what I like. They give you plenty of wick. From the widest point and 1/4 of an inch. And I don't think I'll put the oils on this one, these. So let me roll the widest point up. This wax, the more you handle it, the softer it gets. But I want to see how this looks. I've heard it was really cute. But as you can see, they give you enough beeswax. Isn't that cute? Now I do think I would shorten this, maybe press it down so it would sit in a candle holder, but isn't that cute? So let me do it with the other one, that way I'll have a set. And you have plenty of wick to hold on to if you want to make other candles with something else. Yeah, my kids are out in the yard trimming weeds. We have had so much rain this year that our weeds have just really gotten out of control. And I will flatten this. But there we have 2 others. So out of 3 beeswax sheets, let me see if I can pull these out. We have 1 long one, 1 stubby one, and 2 spiral ones. I'll call them spiral because I don't know what else to call them. But if you love, you do get a subtle, not only do you get the subtle smell of the oils, but you also smell the honey when these melt. And they do melt quickly. But there you go. And everything else requires being in, well, there is one. I don't know. I don't know what that noise is. If you hear it, I apologize. Where are the other recipe cards? I put them somewhere. Just a minute. Sorry about that. When I went over to get my mold, I had laid the cards down over there, and I brought the mold back, but didn't bring the cards back. But I use this little, it's a chocolate melter. Got it on Amazon. And the first thing is 2½ tablespoons of beeswax. And I put my beeswax in a container because it's easier for me to measure. And there's 1 tablespoon. Actually, this might be all that's in here. I've got more. I think that's the half. Let me see if I have my other jar of beeswax here on my table. I don't believe I do. I'll be right back. Sorry. Okay, I had these in separate jars because this beeswax is a little bit bigger. See how this is just little tiny granules? And this one is more bigger disc. No difference in them, it's just the difference in the size. So I need 1 more tablespoon. And there you go. And I'm putting them in my chocolate melter. Let me pour the rest of these little ones in here. I'm very frugal. I don't like throwing things away that I know I can still use. Other words, I'm cheap. Okay, so this will go back in my thing over here. Now, as you can see, that this I didn't preheat it, so it's going to take a while for this to melt. So I'm going to, and I also have to add, there was something else, 1½ tablespoons of solid coconut oil. And I'm getting low on that too. But I have another one. That's about 1 tablespoon. And I need a half. And of course, that was all that was in my jar. So, let me get out my other jar. This comes in your big bonus box. So you always have coconut oil. Oh, this didn't work well. This was supposed to stay in the top, I think. Oh, this has got a lot on the inside. I'm going to have to clean that blade. Okay, so another half a tablespoon of coconut oil, and I think that's probably half. One thing about wax melts, it really doesn't matter how close you get because it requires a lot of wax. So I'm going to let this melt before I finish doing the rest of it, and I'm going to turn the camera off because, you know, it's watching wax melt is sort of like watching water boil. It can be very boring. So I'll be back as soon as this melts. Okay, all of the the oils have melted, but it's a little bit too hot. I have one of these thermo things. It's 172 degrees, 166. And it needs to get below 150 before I can add my essential oils, but it shouldn't take long. But what I ended up doing, this recipe fills a regular soap mold, a big round soap mold. I prefer my wax melts to be in smaller pieces. So I brought out this mold that actually I bought this at Dollar Tree. And it's silicone, so it should work well with the hot wax. I need to let it sit a little bit so I can add my essential oils. Sorry again, got interrupted by the children coming in because they're having trouble with the weed whacker. Anyway, this has cooled off enough now. It's melted and it's cooled. So let me pour in. I'm going to turn this heat on just for a little bit. It is 146 degrees. And I'm going to add, let me start with the timber. 25 drops of timber. That was 20, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was looking at it. The temperature of the oils is solidifying the wax. Whoops, that's the wrong end. So I'm going to have to keep it moving. And 35 of bergamot. And 15 drops of cassia. Oh, what a nice combination this is making. All right. And then you just pour it into your mold. Now, like I said, I'm using these smaller molds because I don't like a big bar of the wax. But I'm going to pour it into these seashells. Should get at least 4. Whoops, that's up a little high. Let's see if I can get this over here. It solidified on me, so that didn't work. I'll just have one small one. And let these sit until they're totally cooled. You can put them in the refrigerator, but with this being in a small mold like this, I don't want to stir them too much. So there you go. That is the Timber and Citrus Bliss wax melts. Now what you would do is get a wax warmer. You can get electric ones. You can get some that you just light a tea light. If you light a tea light under it, it will heat it up, and you put one of these in your wax warmer, and as it melts, it just gives a nice fragrance. So I hope you enjoyed these. Let me switch my camera back and we'll talk a little bit more. Okay, I thought I would make the Sunset Trail diffuser blend. This is my little portable diffuser. I carry it around with me. It's a porous ceramic, and you pour your essential oils on here, and they'll last for a few days. As they evaporate, but I keep it close to me. I carry it from table to table. I probably ought to get a couple of them so I don't have to carry them around. But anyway, so let me do that. On the recipe box, it says 1 drop of timber. Well, this is easy. It's all 1 drop. 1 drop of timber. 1 drop of bergamot. Let me move this up a little bit. One drop of citronella. I don't know if you noticed, because the first one I put in there, 2 drops came out, so I'm putting 2 drops of everything on here. And then it says 1 drop of cassia, but I'm going to be dropping 2, just because I was not able to stop at the 1 drop. Now there's no swirling around or anything. I did get a drop of the cassia on my mat. Let me wipe that off before I get it all over. Cassia is sort of a spicy smell. But there's my little diffuser. Smells good. So I will keep this with me while I'm here. So that's the Sunset Trail diffuser blend. I will not be doing the roll-on because I really don't need another roll-on. I have got so many and I have a hard time deciding which ones to use, so I'm just not going to add to them until I use them up. And I'm going to show you the candle kit. I hesitated to do it because I'm going to have to turn the camera off and go to the microwave. But I wanted you to see what it's all about, and so I decided to give it a try. And these little bags are really good at being sealed, but sometimes they're hard to get in. So the first thing you want to do is remove, there's a little bag in here. Well, I don't want to lose my soy wax. Well, I'll let it come out on this. And I'll add that back into my bag before I go heat it up. But in this bag, there is a wick with the little metal plate on the bottom. See that little metal plate? You just straighten this up. And there's also a sticker. Now I'm going to use this yogurt glass because I've accumulated so many of them. And I'm going to peel the sticker off of one side and put it on the bottom. You see I'm putting it on the bottom of the wick. Then I'm going to take the sticky part off the other side and try to center this as best I can. I'm going to take my little wick straightener and press that down, and I'm going to lay this here, and that's going to keep the wick in place when I put the wax in it. See if I can get this back into the bag. This is soy wax. It's not like our regular candle wax. This is soy wax, and so I don't want to lose any of it. There we go. So now I am going to put this in a little glass and sit it in my microwave for 30 seconds. It says to start at 30 seconds, and then, no, for 2 minutes. Remove wick and wick sticker from bag, microwave open bag upright in a microwave safe dish for 2 minutes, and then 30-second intervals after that until wax is melted. So I'm going to go to my kitchen, go to my microwave, and I will heat up this wax. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have that done. Let me reline this up since I did hit it a little while ago. Get that in the middle. Then my wax is totally melted. I'm going to pinch it just to give it a little more of a pouring spout, and then I'm going to pour it in my jar. Now you can see that this jar is nowhere near the size that it needed to be for a 1-ounce candle, but I just wanted to show you how the candle kit works. And it's in here, and as soon as this solidifies, I'll trim the wick off, and I'll have a little candle. Let me take off my gloves. So let's show you what I've done. Of course, I did the Cozy Nook candle. I did the Sunset Trail diffuser blend. Here are my wax melts. It's been a little while, I waited until these solidified. I think they're so cute. But these are the Timber and Citrus Bliss wax melts. And the Honey Haven candles, and I ended up with 4. I had the little spiral candles, a fat stubby candle, and a tall skinny candle. So those are my Honey Haven candles. And also my Patio Breeze Citronella candle. With the floating candle, with the floating heads. So this was this month's recipe box. Like I said, the only one I didn't do was the roll-on, and they're pretty self-explanatory, real easy to put together. So I hope you like this. I thought they were a lot of fun. And stay tuned, and I just have a few little things I want to say. Weren't those fun? There's always something fun to do with the Simply Earth recipe box, and I love getting mine monthly. I love that every month is a different theme so that you're not, maybe you're not into candles and that's not what you like. Okay, fine. Next month it's going to be something else. And, I have come to like all of them. I haven't found one yet that I didn't care for. So, speaking of the recipe box, if you would be interested in subscribing to the recipe box, if you use my link below, that will get you to the Simply Earth website, and it'll also connect it to me, so they'll know if you happen to buy something that was under me, and it doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me a little bit. And that would give you $15 off your first box, your first recipe box, which means instead of $44.95 or $99, you'd be paying $24.99. So, I mean, what a bargain. Plus, you get the big bonus box. I've described it before, but for those of you that haven't seen my videos, there are 12 roll-on bottles. I have them around somewhere. I have 12 roll-on bottles, 12 5mm bottles for you to make your diffuser blends that come every month. You get a fractionated coconut oil, an almond oil, and beeswax, and a solid coconut oil. It comes in a jar, the solid coconut oil, that comes too. So you get everything you need to help you with your recipes for 6 months. And then at the end of the 6 months, if you're still subscribing, they send you a new bonus box. Can't beat that. Also, if you put in, when you go to checkout, if you put in my code below, the coupon code, you'll be able to get a $45 gift certificate. It'll come to you by email after you've, paid for your first recipe box. And then you can order anything else that you want. It's amazing. There's all that for $24.99. Now, come on, folks. So, sorry, my mind just went blank. I guess with all the interruptions from my daughter and her boyfriend that didn't seem to understand what it meant for me to be making a video. But I hope you enjoyed the candles, and I will be back again soon with more recipes and more recipe boxes. Have a great day. Bye-bye.